We've been hearing quite a bit lately about mutations. Viruses do that. It's science. There's something in the nature of this semi-life form, and we're not even, I guess, really sure what a virus exactly is. It's not like a bacteria that's living, and yet it's some kind of organism that has the tendency to change. And often, the natural progression in virus mutations is that they do become more contagious, but in the same vein also become less deadly, which I guess is kind of a two-edged sword. Also, the fact that viruses are constantly mutating, constantly changing, makes it difficult to target them for treatment. If we take the root word for mutate, mutare, from Latin, and put a negative prefix in front of it, the negative prefix would generally be in, although the prefix itself mutates, we could say, to match the M at the beginning of mutare, so then we get an IM, then we create the word in English, immutable. So something that is mutable mutates, a virus. Something that is immutable does not mutate or does not change. So unlike the virus that's hard to fight because it's constantly changing, we describe God as unchanging, as immutable. We see this throughout Scripture, and we see that God's character trait, God's immutability, has a specific purpose as He invites us into fellowship with Himself. Psalm 102, verses 25 to 27, is one of the Old Testament places where we read about God's immutability. We read, "Long ago you laid a foundation for the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. They will perish, but you remain. All of them will wear out like a garment. Like clothing you will change them, and they will be changed. But you are the same, and your years will never end." So the never end part is God being eternal, but the rest of this passage in poetic form, giving us some great imagery, illustrates for us how God does not change. I volunteer at our botanical center here in the city where we live, and I have a couple of pair of jeans that I've been wearing when I go to kneel in the dirt, weed, plant, whatever needs to be done there, and I have ripped both of those pairs of jeans. They wore out because they were overused, overstretched, and illustrate something that is changing, changeable, and here we have that image given to us as we compare that, that what God created, the foundations of the earth, the heavens, that is the sky, we can see just blue in the day, and the stars at night, that are the work of God's hands, that they will perish, that they will wear out like a garment, but that the one who created, the one who set the foundation, will not change. He remains, and He is the same always. This idea is stated very simply in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8. So we're getting to the conclusion of the letter to the Hebrews, the whole letter dealing with how Jesus identifies with us, being tempted but not sinning, so that He could become the final and perfect sacrifice to take away our sin, as He became sin for us. We read that in Paul's letter to the Corinthians, but also that he suffered the death that we deserve. And so as we conclude that and are encouraged to live in the sacrifice that Jesus made for us and the transformation that happens for us, that there are practical things that apply in our lives as we do this. When we get to the end of the letter to the Hebrews, we have this short little statement again affirming this fact about God that is stated as an encouragement to us to stay the course, to stay faithful, to not give up in a world where there are challenges. In our Western society, we might think that we can experience some persecution, but not like it is in other places of our world. But throughout the history of Christianity, Christians have been persecuted, and we are encouraged to stay firm in the midst of struggles and trials and persecutions with these words that we read in verse 8, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And that's intended to be for us a word of comfort and a word of encouragement that he doesn't change, and so we can count on him, that his promises are true. They were true yesterday, they are true today, they will be true tomorrow. That he has said that he will be with us yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and we can count on that and we can trust it because he does not change. He is the same. And then another verse in the New Testament that we look at to bring this into what it is that God has done for us and his plan for us is James chapter 1 verses 17 and 18, where we read, every good act of giving and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the lights, who does not change or shift like a shadow. Just as he planned, he gave us birth by the word of truth, so that we would be a kind of first fruits of his creation. Smack dab in the middle of these two verses, we have this enduring truth that gives credence, that gives validity, that is the proof that the Father of lights, who is the giver of every good and perfect gift, does not change, does not shift like a shadow. Another beautiful image. Why? So that what he planned is true. And that confession that he does not change, that he does not shift, is there so that we can be assured of this plan for us, that through the word of truth, he has given us birth. We have this word, born again, or born from above. And it's something that has to happen for us to be in fellowship with God. That we need to receive the birth that he gives to us as he puts to death our old nature. He does that in baptism, and brings to life the new. And we are created new. We are a new person, a new birth. That happens as his word is put into effect in our lives. And we can trust, and we can be confident that this is true for us because we have a God who does not change. A God who is immutable. Thanks for being a part of the conversation. I'm interested in your thoughts. Leave them in the comments below. And God bless you.